If you can hear me, I would like to see all of you. Let's get started. My boss, Jessam, Bernard, enjoy yourself. Oh.
It's not like that, sir.
He's like, how you've sorted those things, right?
Yes, sir. Is I'm just left with few things to arrange.
All right. Hmm. Display. What am I recording? Display. Built area. I just wait. Just give me a second. I'm trying to record this and see how it works. So amazing. Um, Emmanuel, I would like to see you, my favorite student. Chidera, I would ask, is it that these Saturday classes are not like convenient for you guys? Hmm?
Yes, I didn't hear what you said.
I'm asking if the Saturday classes are not so convenient for you guys because you guys take a whole lot. It's like 23 minutes into the time before you join the meeting. And from the look of things, you are in the market making your hair. You didn't know that we had a class today.
I'm still active. I'm listening. Everything is there.
That's not how to learn. You can't learn in that environment. If we are being honest, I'm supposed to go and barb my hair. I've been at home for the most part, but I could not
I,
go till after this class.
I've actually paused. I'm outside because of the class.
So by the time I start using English to talk, you will hear what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm hearing you. I hear very
Anyways, anyways, the truth is that I always say you can take a horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink water. So I'm so happy for the few people that are here. It shows seriousness and commitment. Um, and that's what Leaf Tourism is built on, commitment. To be fair, there's a lot of work that we do on the ground that does not really meet the eyes of everybody. And I'm so happy that you guys have been sticking around with us this far. And it's something I'm actually grateful for. I'm so grateful that um, that's happening. So okay. Trying to set up my screen so that we start. I actually wanted us to work on an actual project today, say a party poster today, and it's something is that should take your time. You need to be focused. You guys in the market making your hair, Precious, you don't seem to be home. Are you at home? I can't
Yes,
hear you.
sir.
You're at home. Then there is this designer that we have that is already a designer. She's not here. Hmm. Oh well. At the end of the day, we are going to start now. So we are trying as much as possible to touch every segment of design. We've done church poster, even if it's like just the brief, the interface, so that you get familiar with it. We did logo design using Corel Draw, and we would have modeled it with Photoshop, which we didn't. So today I want us to work on a party poster, and we'll be jumping right into it. Um, I worked on something last night. So what I would do, I would just redo it again from the scratch so that we all follow through, since I have the assets for that already, and see how things can be made. Abi, is any of you here against designing a party, a club poster? If you are, let me see your hand. You can design club posters. You see, you're not hearing me. Shidera, you're not hearing me.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Well, I asked the question if you can design a club poster.
Not really. I cannot though.
No, no, I'm not asking if you can design it currently. I'm asking if, as a designer, as a creative, there are areas of designs you can't do, you don't do. You choose for yourself, you say, oh, I don't want to do this one because maybe it affects this. I don't know if you understand, Jessam. There are projects you just cannot work on, either because of your fates or so that's what I'm asking. If it's just church designs you ought to be doing, or brand designs.
Okay. I actually I had small experience before, but what I do was just business cards. So I don't know the brand designs. That's what I'm here.
I get you. So what you did is, if you're doing business cards, those are like brand designs, and that falls under stationery designs, business card, letterhead, thank you cards, email signatures, souvenirs. All those things are like just stationery design. And you do that after you create maybe your logo, because you apply your logo to those assets. Are we good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So quick one. We are going to work on this. Let me share my screen. Oh God. It's loud. Mm. Okay, quick one before we do. You guys can still hear me, right? I have to give permission. I have to give permission to my laptop. This is a new laptop to be able to screen record. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to step out of the call in a second and then come back up. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
So just give me a second now to do that. Hope I didn't take too long. Okay, let's jump right into it. Share my screen now with you guys. Please let me know if you can see my screen. So I want us to work on something like this or this. Which of them do you prefer? So we'll do it from scratch again.
So I prefer that first one, that sunset beats.
Okay. Chidera, do you agree? If you agree, just thumbs up. Let's get started. Okay. I hope you guys are utilizing the photo P I told you guys to use. If you don't have Photoshop on your phone, I'm going to do photo P. And then good news. Um, there is a software that functions like Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, what's that? Corel Draw. It's like a vector and pixel software all together in one. That's Affinity Designer by Canva. It's a new release, and it pretty much has a lot of tools. Just that the interface is somehow you just have to work your way, but you have to understand Photoshop first. So that's why if you don't have Photoshop in your laptop or your phone, you can use this web version of Photoshop. You create whatever. Let's just use this as default, whatever, and you have your Photoshop on the web. You can do whatever you want to do. Is seamless, the same thing, blending options, everything that Photoshop has is here. Everything that Photoshop has is actually here. So you don't really need to wait to have Photoshop. This can be used in your mobile phone and a PC if you've not installed Photoshop. And I sent a link the other day up the torrents. Sorry to divert a little. It's a Russian site, and I don't know if anybody have been able to download any software from here. This where you download uh software. If you come here and search Photoshop, you see. But then, if you want to download, you have to check the specifics. This is for okay. This is for Mac. So um yeah, you just have to check. And then there are other platforms you can still download softwares for. Okay. At the end of the day, until you start making money from design, you just have to improvise until then. Is that okay? Okay. So you guys said you want us to work on this. So we are going to create a new layer and then start afresh. This is a new layer. You know how to create new layers by now, I suppose. If you can't, please thumbs up. If you can't, let me go back to that. You know how to create new layer, set up your page. If you have any challenge, please feel free to tell me to to let me know if you can't. There's no point pretending through the class and then you don't go home with anything. So if you don't know, and if you can see my screen, please thumbs up so that I'll know that we are all together. If you can see my screen, please. Okay, good. So now what we are going to do, we are going to create a new page, Command N or Windows N, as the case may be. Then you set up your file name if you like. Let's just say tests. As for me, I use 1500 by 1500 for a square design. But depending on your system and how fast it is, please, you can always bring this down to 1080 by 1080. It will still give you the same square design. to still give you the same square design. This is the width and this is the height. Then if you check here, you see the orientation. If let's assume that one side was bigger, say this was 1850, this is like a portrait design, then you see that when you tick this, it will work as portrait, but when you do this, it will work as landscape. That means it will interchange the position of this. You notice that this went up now. If I take it here now, it has gone back. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's the function of this icon here. Then I spoke to you about artboard. Artboard is more like creating more than one canvas in your document. But if you don't want that, you can just stick without checking this box, you leave it open. And the resolution as well, depending on the speed of your system. I use 300 for the most part. But if your system is not that fast, because the more you increase this, the more your system will lag if it's not fast. So if it's not, you can always keep it at 120 or even 72, as the case may be. So depending on your system, of course. And then you can leave every other setting and we'll create this. Voila, we have our empty page again. So let's remove this other one and stick with this. Are we on the same page now? Do we know how to set up a page for design now? Everybody? Okay. I don't want to say that's the last time I'll speak on that too, because that might not be the last time. But then I hope that's understandable. So now we'll go to the design itself, what we have to design. So first off, we'll go to the assets. To design anything, first off, you have to download the materials you need. And in this case, these are the materials I needed. So this is the face you're seeing in that poster that is already downloaded. So we are going to start with the background, obviously. So now this, you take it to the Photoshop file. And then when you're designing something that is more technical, this is not like the first design we did. I told you guys when we are working on the next thing is going to be a bit technical. It's not going to be that the way it was. So after this, we are going to go to filter, go to blur. Again, we'll go to filter, go to blur, then go to Gaussian blur. I have my settings already. That's why I went straight to 14.8. But in cases where you don't, you just play around with it until you find the depth you want that you are satisfied with. So for me, I'll stick with 14.8. And again, this depends on the image and the texture. So we've set our background now. The next thing we are going to do is import this other one for the effect that is on that poster. For the effect we want it to have like a light effect. We'll add this again. Now we'll take it a bit up, and I spoke to you about layer marks, adjustment layer, folder or group, to add a layer and to delete a layer. And then these are your layer styles. You barely make use of that, but just to know them, there is bevel and emboss, there is stroke, there is inner shadow, there is glow. And don't see these things to be like confusing, please. They are just straight to the point as possible. As we proceed, you see how they apply to our design. So after including this image here, what we are going to do is add a layer mask. So we are adding a layer mask so that we'll be able to blend these parts of this design with the background that we already have. So it's not like two different things. So we add a layer mask. If you add a layer mask, it gives you this. This means you are maintaining this as a smart object. I spoke to you guys about smart object and rasterize. We have smart object and rasterize. When it's a smart object, it means that even if I reduce the scale of this image and okay it, and then scale it back, the quality does not lose its quality. Do you remember when I spoke about that? Do you remember? Okay, good. And then we have the rasterize, or you can call it flatten, to flatten the layer. When we flatten it or rasterize it, by the time we do the same thing we did by reducing it and increasing it, when you reduce and okay it and increase back, the quality will be missing. You will lose details of the image. That's what rasterizing do. But rasterizing gives you free will to edit the picture. If it is smart object as it is, I cannot use the eraser tool here. I can't I can't use it. You'll be seeing commands like this. It's only working right now because I had removed it from when it said this smart object must be rasterized and I pressed OK. That means I rasterized it. That's why I can now use eraser. But outside that, you can't use eraser. And just so you understand the concept of layer marks, in this tool panel, I want you to get something clear so that you don't confuse yourself here. What is here, I hope you can see my mouse. I just hope so that we're on the same page. Please, if you can see my mouse, thumbs up, before we continue. Okay, good. So, this part of this is still a smart object. When you add a layer mask, you just add a layer on top of that layer. In a layman term, let me explain it like you want to edit something, but you add something in front of it so that you not spoil this one. Whatever edit you are making now is on top of this layer. So now if I go and use my brush tool and clean this part, notice what happens. This effect now goes to this. It now shows black because I painted over this with my brush tool. So it's now on this. This is on top of this one. So that's why this effect now is covering this one. I don't know if you understand me. That's the best way I can understand. I can explain that. Please, if you understand that, thumbs up. If you don't, let me go back to it again. This is a clothes. You are wearing clothes and hair. I think that's the best way to explain this. This is your own body, your flesh, everything without clothes. This is your clothes. If I now carry paint and pour on you, what will be stained? Your clothes, right? Now, if you remove this clothes and delete it, your body still remains without any dents. Do we understand? So I hope that makes sense. Does it make sense? Okay, let's proceed. So that's what a layer mask simply does. It's not so confusing and all that. So now let me just revert and delete this layer mask. Let's add it again. We'll add the layer mask, and now when you go to the brush tool, here's the brush tool. We use this normal brush tool, increase the size of brush by using the brackets forward, bracket close. I don't even know how to call it. What's this bracket called on the keyboard? Is it, yeah, you increase it or you reduce it. So you can as well come here and increase the brush size here and increase the brush size, or you reduce it, you increase it or you reduce it. There's another option here, but this side is not always available for you. That's because you have to set it yourself. You go to Windows and add the panels you want. This is customized for what I use daily already. So let's proceed to add the brush effects. So let's wipe over this. Do you notice that it automatically makes sense? It makes it feel belonging a bit. But we are not going to stop there. We are now going to add, oh shit. shop offers. Please don't close Photoshop. I have to reinstall this Photoshop so that this whole thing will stop. So, you guys, your tab has blocked. Let me move this here. So that's it. Okay, this makes sense. Please, can you still see my screen, right? Thumbs up if you can. Amazing. So, do you understand up to this point how we have achieved this effect? If you do, let me know. You can on your mic if you have any parts you don't understand so far. I really want you guys to understand this because I'm going to add a lot of effects to this design. It's not like the other one that was just basic, straight to the point, and we just use shapes. So if you don't understand so far, let me know. So far, we just have the background, which we added the Gaussian effect, smart filter, a Gaussian blur, and then we added another background layer, and then added a layer mask and painted over it with our brush tool. So the next thing, we are going to change the blending mode of this layer. And the blending mode now is going to do something like this. When you come here where it says normal, you see different blending modes. You see dissolve, darken, multiply, color bond, and the rest of it. Technically, if you're just starting out, you just play around and see what works for you. But after you grow in design, you start knowing how they work. You know that when you add a screen and a darker background on the back, how it will affect the design. You can just straight up go to what you want. But for this, we are going to use soft light. Now we are going to use soft light for this, but then we are going to add another thing to make this background to pop. Now what we are going to add will be levels. We'll come here. Levels is just the difference between the dark part of a design and the light part of a design. You can see it from this illustration here. So you add levels by going to your what's adjustment layer, click on it, you see levels here. If you scroll down, you see other options. You see other options. So that's how we got to levels. So now we are going to adjust it so that it adds effect to our design here. So what we are going to do, I'm going to take this one from the darker side and shift it a bit. Please, can you notice the difference in this? Are you noticing any difference? So what you're trying to achieve is for this background to be as natural as possible, so that when somebody sees it, it's not like you just pick things from different places and mix them together to form a design. It to be so childish. You want everything to be like you are creating a feeling. You want them to be immersed in the design when they see it. You want them not to think that, oh, is it that this part is different? How did I get it? You want it to be like somebody just saw this thing and took a picture of it. That's it. You don't want it to be too too far apart. That's why I add all these blending modes. So I think with this, I am okay. This adds effect to the down part and made it darker. So that way, what we are trying to achieve is so that we'll be able to write. You have intentions to write the theme of this program down here and other details that will follow. You intend to write it down here, depending on how you plan your workspace. Sometimes you want to write on top. Obviously, that's dependent on you and your creative prowess. However, I want to do that, that's fully dependent on you. But you adjust it based on the plan you have. Great. Are you guys with me? So you will play around with this a bit. If you notice now, this is adding effect to the top part of the design because we don't want it to be so dark. We want the up part to have some level of action, like it's a party now, it's supposed to have vibe. So we'll take it here and the down part maintain. So what this does, it has separated this work into two parts, the lighter part and the darker part. That's the work of levels. And there are other options you can choose from, but that's obviously when you start using Photoshop properly and you are well acquainted with this, you can always play around with this, of course. So yeah, after levels, mind you, whatever all these things we've been doing is just to get our background right. To get our background right. So we are going to add another adjustment layer and call it we'll add curves. Curves is still like levels, just that you have this free will to take this part to the lighter part and take this. So you just have this, and you can change the actual this thing you want to. If you want to edit just the red, whatever you want to do, but please just stick to whatever color. Let's use auto. Auto will just give you this. Well, I'm not so feeling it, so I'll take this part a bit down, and then we'll come to our layers, turn this off, on it, and see what that effect has done. I think it just made it pop a bit. That's just what this has done. To understand the difference, you can always off it. See now how this is. See how this is. So see the progress and how we've achieved this background so far. But I don't really like the effects coming down here at this point. So I'll go to levels again and take it here. Then push this a bit further so it adds this effect. And in our first class, I think there was one of our classes that I told you that design does not finish. So you just have to play around with this thing. If you notice, this is what I noticed that made me come to adjust this. I noticed that this part was empty and this part was dark. So we come to levels and fix that. But then, so I think this is okay. This works. So now what do we do next? We'll add our subject. The subject in this particular design is the center of attraction. So you want to make the subject pop. So we'll go to our folder, obviously, wherever I kept your image. We'll come here and take our subject to the design. So this is where the next level of work happens. So what we can do professionally, I didn't show you guys this because obviously I was just introducing you to Photoshop. What we can do professionally is to keep your Photoshop layers in order. So what I'll do right now, I'll highlight all this. So I'll come to the top part of this part, these levels, and the last here. I will hold shift. Once you hold shift and click, it will highlight everything. Or you can click them one by one by holding it. I'm holding command or control, select until you're done. But if you click here and go to any part, the last part, click it to highlight, or same with down to up to highlight all, and then we'll group it. You come here, you group this. When you group it, so you know that everything you've done here is fixed. So what we can do again to make working on this Canva a bit easier will be to lock the layer. That's why we have these features. So we can lock the layer. So what happens now is I cannot move anything here. Even if I select on it, it cannot move. It gives you the freedom to do whatever you want on the surface so that you don't alter any other thing. So now I will unhide our layer. And then what we'll do again is to select and max the subject. So now we'll go to our selection tool, and okay, this tool is not showing here. Okay, these things have covered it. So we'll use the upper part. I'm using Photoshop 2025, so that's why it has this. But if not, this is just what you use, select subject. The selection might not be so clean. That's why you are a designer. You now have to go in yourself and fix what is not selected. Mind you, there are different ways of selecting and selection tools, but you can use auto select or you can use any of these with whatever is preferable. But always use quick selection tool. That's what I'll recommend before you fine tune your selection. Now, after this, it gives you the leverage to now. If you look at this top left corner, you see this. This is overall to select everything, obviously. This is to add. This is to minus. You can see the signs from the top part. If you can still see my screen, please indicate with a thumbs up. Let me know that we're on the same page, please. Are you guys following? Amazing, amazing, amazing. Um, So here is to add to it. Here is to minus. So we are going to use the add and come inside. If I click on minus and come outside and do this, it will select what I've done inside. Even if I do it from inside, it will keep selecting inside. So if I add, it will do this outside. Another way to do it without really coming here, let's assume that this selection is here. This fix does not really add anything. It just adds on the outside, but when you are inside, it does not do anything when it's here. But if you want to add, you can, or let's say when it's on add and you want to subtract, you can, the shortcut is to hold your, on my system is option. I think it's alternate on Windows. Yes, you hold Alt and you select. The same thing is with if it's on minus, you hold Alt and you select, it will add. If it's on minus and you hold Alt, it will add. Why is this not working? It's supposed to change the sign. Apparently, it just works when it's on plus to change to minus. But you get the point. If it doesn't work with shortcuts, you just come here and select it, please. So you hover around where you want to select. And this selection also applies to the kind of brush you're using. So if you're coming to delicate parts, you can reduce your brush by using the uh the bracket button, the bracket open, not the normal bracket or the square on. I don't know in mathematics what's the name. All those things have left my head. On your keyboard, once you do that, the smaller one will reduce it. You increase and reduce. If you notice it going up and coming in. Another way to do that again is to come here and reduce the size manually. But this is the shortcut. So we'll make sure to select our subject properly. If you're using a higher version of Photoshop, obviously to give you the grace, it will be doing some of the work for you, picking the detail that you get to fine tune later on. This is sometimes a very tedious process if you are not patient. But for me, I'm just doing this so that you really understand. If I have these problems of selecting, I have other tools I use to select it, not necessarily Photoshop alone, but so that you don't overly confuse you. Let's just stick to Photoshop selection. So if this is stressing us, we can use another tool, say this, we can use the polygon and do something like this. It's on minus already, mind you. We can do something like this, take it outside. And voila, it has selected that. Do you understand what I did? Mind you, it's on minus. If you see by the side, it's on minus. Here is plus. If you've done set theory mathematics, this is how to combine set to minus to divide. And you have to get familiar with these tools. Whatever software you're using, they are very important. What they mean, because they will not write it there. You just need to know what they mean. So I would still do this again for this. Come here, select. This is just to give me a fine straight selection, and that is out. I'll do this for this again. This same thing applies when you're adding. No, don't get it confused. If you want to add, you can just convert it to this. It will still do the same thing. And this tool is used for straight lines. That's why I'm using it, because it's glasses. Do we understand so far? So you just go around your subject and check which part is not selected. This is a very delicate practice. You take your time, don't rush it. Check what is not selected. If not, you have an image. Let's just make an example. There are sometimes you select something. If you're not careful, If you're not careful, you have a selection inside it. You see what is here? This is a circle. It might seem like it's innocent until you add a layer mask and you see what happens. It has left a hole there. Do you understand? Although you can fix this with your layer mask, but it's advisable not to make this kind of mistakes. So since we've selected our subject, please let's add a layer mask to it. And voila, we have our subject. But there's a challenge. Who can tell me the challenge now that I play this subject? What do you think is off about me placing the subject? Let me hear from you just a second before we continue. Do you think there is anything off with the subject on the background?
Yes, I think it's not blending as it should.
Beautiful. That's your work as a designer, because this is fine. To be very honest, this is beautiful. A lot of people will design things, you see it on the web, and it's like this, and it's okay. But it does not really blend with the background. It feels like something that is just thrown there. But you want to make it feel like something that is part of the design, part of the background, like I'm standing here. That's your work. You have to give it that sense of belonging in the canvas. Do we follow? So how do we achieve that? First off, we added levels to the background to give us this darker side, but here we might not need to do that because we have a layer mask here. So we are going to utilize this to our advantage. You come to the layer mask, pick your brush tool, and what we'll do, you come here. These are very important. Opacity. Opacity refers to, let me just give you this example. This is my subject now. This is opacity. If I take this to this, are you seeing what's happening? Do you understand what opacity does without me explaining further? So it reduces the image, it makes it transparent. Then there's something called fill. We'll get into this in due time. Fill only works, I think, let me just show you before we continue since I'm there. Fill works when there's a shape. I'll give you an example now. I have this and I'll add a stroke. Let's put a white stroke so that it will be visible and make it 10 pixels. So the difference between opacity and fill is that when I reduce opacity in this, it reduces everything, the background plus the stroke. But when I reduce fill in this, what it will do is to just remove the background and keep the outline. Do you understand? That's the difference between opacity and fill. Good. I think that's a very short explanation. Let's proceed with our class. So now we are here. We'll come to the layer mask because we want this downside to blend with the background here. So what we'll do, we'll pick our brush tool. We'll come here, there is flow here. Flow is the intensity of the brush, while opacity is the, obviously what I've explained here, the transparency of the brush. So we'll reduce the flow to be minimal. Please, if this thing I'm doing, I'm just clicking and dragging left. If it does not work for you, please just use the drop down menu or you just simply type it, click and type it there. So we'll come here and we'll brush on it. Notice what happens because I reduce the flow. I'll just take it to 100 so that you understand what I mean. If I brush it at 100, have you seen what happens? But if did you see that? So it doesn't, I'm not rushing too much. Did you see what happened? This is at 100 when I brush through it on the layer max. This is what I have. If I come to flow and reduce it to say 40, the same, this thing, have you seen the difference? Is there any difference that you've seen? Amazing. So we'll just hover around this. This is the part of design that is not so interesting, but if you like design, you will enjoy it. I won't lie. You enjoy this part. You just do this till you are satisfied. with what you have. I think so far this is okay. The downside. So what we'll do to make it blend, we are going to add another adjustment layer, but this time we'll add hue and saturation. Hue and saturation. But now when we add this, we'll clip it to this subject by using this tool. If you just click here, it will click it to the subject. Or when you come here, you hold Alt. Once you press Alt and you hold it, if you come here, you see this arrow has changed. Can you see the arrow? If you're using a Mac, you press Option. If you're using a Windows, it's Alt. Once you click it, it clips it to this subject. What this means is that any effect you are doing to this only applies to this image. And if you take this off, it will go off. It will not be alive if this is turned off. So now what we'll do now, since our subject is green, our background is green, we want it to have a bit of green. So we'll adjust this to our preference. Mind you, just play around this until you get what you want. But for this, we don't want it to be too green. We don't want even want it to be green. So I want to take it to have like a reddish feel. Uh, let me see. Okay, let's go in and confirm that. Okay, I think this is better. So it's not giving us the white look like it was before. And then we are going to the next step by adding the saturation. We'll add this depending on what we want. I think this is sizable enough. If you take this down, it reduces the overall image. If you take it, it makes it white. Obviously, you know what that means. Let's take this back to 0. And we okay it. So that's the first step we'll do there. You can add a whole lot of other effects. Same thing you did to the levels. We can say add curves and clip it. Same process applies to clipping. And then do something like this. You play around with this until you're obviously satisfied. Don't overly do too much, but keep it natural. Yep. Undo this and take it a bit down. As you progress in your design journey, you will learn to manipulation and all that it comes with. So after doing this, it is okay, but the red is too much. So what I'll do, I'll reduce the opacity of this. I'll reduce the opacity of this. I'll take it down to, oh, hold on. My laptop is about dying. Just give me a second. Mm. How did I not notice that my system is dying? Hmm. Hmm. Are you guys still with me? Save and close. Are you guys still with me? So sorry about that. I forgot that I've been using this system since morning without charging it. Display. Let's start recording. Why are you taking so long? Okay. 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 So, right, this is looking too reddish. So we are going to reduce the opacity of this. I will take it a bit here. I think this is better. And then this as well. I'll take it here. This is better. Okay, so we'll proceed from here to adding our text. Mind you, this must not be the final result. We'll still come back to fine tune it. But let's just continue from here. So we're going to add the main subject, which is sunset beats. Mm. Please, if you're working on this, always add a new layer first so it doesn't confuse you. So we're going to do sunset beats. Sunset beats. Uh, and we'll change the fonts to what we have here and make it bigger. What I had there was a bit customized, so we'll hope I'm not too fast, but I've forgotten them. So we've added the text, changed the fonts, clicked on it, went to the fonts, changed the fonts. The font I'm using here is Bubble Love Regular. And now, after this, we went to the text properties. If you go to the text properties or your properties generally, you'll be able to do this, what I want to do now, reduce the line spacing. So let's take it to 10 and scale it all the way down until we are satisfied. So what do we want to do? Change it, highlight the downside alone, the word that we want, come to the color property here, change it to the color we want, which is red. And what's the next thing we want to do? Based on our sample, we want to skew it. And I told you how to transform things. You either Control T or Command T, or you come to edit. Is it edit? Yep, edit, transform. You say scale. Once you do this, this comes up, but the shortcut is obviously Control T or Command T. Once you do that now, you right click on it, you see skew. Once you do this, it allows you to do something like this. Do you follow? Uh-huh. So it allows you to do something like that if you're skewing it. I think this is okay. So we'll scale it down a bit. And what we are going to do, the font is too tall. What I'm about to do is not so advisable, but I could only do it because I knew that it will not really affect my output. So we are going to obviously hold it down, uh, Command T or Control T. And this link that is here is the reason why if I do this, everything will shrink at once. If I still scale it up, everything will go up at once. So we want to do the up part alone without it coming. So we'll unlink it here and we'll reduce this to this. I think this is fine. Then we can link it back. Now that we've placed our theme on the Canva, we can now adjust our subject again to fit what we are working on. So I think this is okay. Mm. It's- yep. This is okay. We want a slay queen to be the subject of attraction. So I think what I'm doing, this adjustment is subject to you, depending on your preference when you start designing. Obviously, you know what you want. So now, notice what I'm doing. I taught you guys about white space. This design has white space, but it's not white. Okay. So all these spaces that you see me living, they are white space. Let's assume that this is a design and we want to add a logo. The logo can come in somewhere here, here, or even by the sides below. That's that. I am not going to do everything from scratch again, since I have done it already. So I'll just bring in, you know how to type now. You type your, where are thou? Ish. Okay. You guys know how to type, right? Please, thumbs up if you know how to type. So we are text to, you just type this and add. There is nothing too special to it's just typing. So I don't want to just go about typing all this again. Oh no, this is what I want to copy. So I'm just selecting and moving to the next slide, please. And we have this. Mm, so you know how to crop. Let's just do this from scratch so that you understand the pattern I did. So we want to add a bottle to represent that obviously it's club now. The bottle is here, is downloaded. We'll move it to our canvas. And we use the selection method we know, select subject. And it's selected, and we'll add a layer mask to it and reduce it to fit where we want it to be placed. Now I did something to this by adding, I'll add a layer below it. And to add a layer below it, it's either you press Control before you press this add, it will add it behind it. If you just come here and press add, it will add it in front. But even if you add it in front, you can always move it below. So it's not a big deal. But just for shortcuts, you want to add something behind something, you can always just hold Control and it will add behind. So what we'll do with this, we'll use our brush tool to add. Notice what happens if I paint. That's because our foreground color that is here is this color. So to have this color, you hold Alt in Windows and Command Option in Mac. Select the darker part of this, which is black, and just paint around here. I want this not to have it like that. So another thing I did in this design, I converted it to black and white. But in this case, I think I will leave it here. I converted this one to black and white. This effect. But in case you want to add black and white to a subject, this is how to do it. You select the subject, come to your adjustment layer, you see black and white. You add, it will highlight, it will, it will add the effect on everything that is behind it. Do you understand? So you do that clipping mask option again by holding your option or alt, clicking on it, and voila, you have your black and white. But otherwise, I hope you know how to do black and white now. You can always still adjust it just like you did the other one, you intensity, all this, depending on the design you're working on. So you can always do all this and it affects what the black and white looks like. So, but we don't need all this, so no need. So I'm going to scale this a bit. Mind you, if you notice this hair, because of the way the picture is, it is cut out here, but now we want to improvise and do something that will not make somebody know that, oh, this image was cut out, to is not complete, to and we'll get into that. But for now, we'll add the date. And to add dates, I need this. I'll just copy this. But no, let me not copy. Let me do it again so that you understand how I did that. So I came on top where I want the layer to be, added a layer. You add a layer here, and then you go to your pen tool. If you right click, you see different pen options here. We have pen, we have freehand, we have a whole lot. But for this, we are going to use freehand and just play around. So let's draw that shape again. We'll do just play around, play around. But as you're playing around, you are playing around with direction. Don't just play around and do what was not supposed to be done. So we do this and we join it here. So what we are going to do, mind you, we created a layer, another layer before doing this. So we right click here. When you right click, you see a lot of options, but what we need here is fill part, fill to add to something. We fill it. You come here, you see color. When you come here, don't just press OK. Click color, click the color again. It will now show you, ask you which color do you want. You now pick the color you want. But in this case, let's use white since we use yellow in the other one. So white, okay. Then after you've done this, you can delete the outline that is here. Once you click delete, this thing that is showing dot 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 will go. And now we've created this. Do you understand? Any question? Is there any question? Please talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Is there any question? Are we good? Thumbs up if you're good. You are having an assignment after this. I love that you guys are quiet. And you have to submit it. Okay. You will submit it to, it's not the one I will give assignments. I'm serious with the classes. The classes have become serious now. So we have left the stage of there's someone that you don't understand.
Yes, sir.
What don't you understand? Let me just take it over. What time do we have? We have very few minutes to round up.
Okay, I'm trying to understand how you did a freehand drawing on top of an invisible layer.
Okay. Now here's the thing. I'll do this again. Let me just hide this layer in case the one I draw does not come as fine as this. Okay, good. Now all these tools you have down there, I think these options that are here are just too much. Can I move this thing? Oh, I can actually move it. Nice. I didn't even know. Knowledge is power. It's good to try. Discovering what I'm doing. Okay. So anything you want to do on a Canva, I'm just going to do one quick thing and hide all these layers. How are you still here, young man? Okay. This is your invincible layer, what you call invisible layer, right? Whatever you do on this, whether it's a brush, let's add a layer now. This once you add this layer, this is what you have, an invincible layer, right? This is it too. It's not an invincible layer. This is the layer now. You can decide to name it, but I've not decided to name this other one. So if we pick a brush and brush over it, do you understand? We built something on a foundation. So let's just call that invisible layer a foundation. But before you build it on that foundation, you need to add it. If you come here, you can't add it because that's not a layer. That's something else. If you come to another thing that you've done already, you cannot add it there. So you have to create a layer on its own to be able to add it. Do you understand? Okay. So basically, before I added this, I created what JSAM called an invisible layer. you come here, you add it, it is here. So anything you draw does not affect any of this. It just affects this layer. It should get. So that's why we're able to draw it. After adding the invisible layer, according to Jesam, we went to our pen tool, choose the freehand by right clicking. We have various pen tools here, and you learn to use them with time as you get acquainted with the software. We use freehand tool to draw whatever we have. And when we are done, we right click, fill parts, color. Now white was there already. So if I just click OK, it's white that will fill that. Now, do you understand how we drew this, Abby? Notice something now. We drew this on top of this layer. So two of them are now joined. They are together because it's the same layer technically. Do you understand? Please, if you understand, thumbs up, please. If you have any other question, if I continue. Do you understand? Are you enjoying the class? Is it hard? Funny enough, this one is still not hard. Though. This is like very simple still. When you go into a lot of blending options, a lot of blending options, then, but I want your hands to be strong. So please, by all means, after every class, practice, practice, practice. I have been designing for at least 7 to 8 years now. And any day I don't design, I don't feel well. Let's get to that point. Design, when you get home, practice, have the urge, even if it's not important, do flyer, do business card. These tricks that I'm teaching you is the same trick you need to do anything you want to do. To place text on background, find your background, go online. I've showed you how to get background from Pinterest. There's free pick. There are a lot of other, even Google, pick backgrounds, do things. It might be useless, but just do it. It will make sense with time. But if you don't, knowledge, any knowledge that is not used does not become an habit. Whatever I'm doing now, trust me, I'm not even thinking about it too much. I promise you. I'm not thinking, oh, should I do this? The only time I think about projects is like it's a new idea. I'm trying to do something that probably is not too common. That's when I think. But if it's to design something, I know the terminologies because it's just I can just sit and design. So let's get to the point where design becomes a habit. Even if you're not good, in fact, it's not even possible not to be good. Everybody is good. It just needs time to improve on it. You understand? So don't feel scared. If you don't want to send it to the group, send it to me directly. Do whatever I want to do. Send it to my inbox. If I don't reply immediately, I'll reply with time. Definitely. Slowly but surely. Amen. Please let's keep designing. Oh, back to this. So we've created our shape here. So I don't want it to be just straight like this. So let's tilt it a bit by using the transform tool, Command T or Control T. After doing that, if you just hover by the side, you see this thing. It just means if you drag it down, it will rotate. Anywhere you do it, it will rotate there. So I want it to be a bit slanted. So we have that there. So we say this one should be for our date, right? We'll put the date here and then we'll put time. Did I show you how to copy the way I copied now? Okay, to copy is Command J or Control J. Once you do this, you duplicate the layer, you can move it. But what I did is not Command J. It's a shortcut. Once you click it, you hold Alt or Option in Mac and drag. It will copy the same thing for you. Now you apply the same effect. But since this one is facing this other side, you can just right click and flip it. Voila. We have what we want. Reduce it not to be too much. But I think this white is actually busy, so we might later please still change the color. Yep. So let's add the dates. You know how to write now, so I'm just going to copy this what is here already. I believe that you know how to type. So when you type your own, you just come and do the same principle, rotate it, you put it there. The font I use here is African Culture. That's for that. And what I achieved, if you notice, there's a drop shadow. After typing, I went to my blending options by, please, this thing should not close. Whatever you're doing, don't close. Let me finish this class. Okay, good. So here I went to blending option by double tapping this. Once you double tap this, to take you to blending options, or you right click. Once you right click on this thing, okay, it's not showing. Okay, this is blending option. Usually it's always at the top in other versions of Photoshop. I think I didn't even know that it's here because I barely do right click to come here. I just do the shortcut. So once you double tap it, it will take you to the blending options. So now we come to drop shadow. We scroll down, come to drop shadow. Once we do drop shadow, you set it depending on what you want and all that. So I'll just delete this so that you understand. I'll do it from scratch. So double click, go to blending options, go to drop shadow. Now it's showing like this. You notice it's showing this direction because of this setting. This is the angle. If I change this angle now and take it here, notice what has happened. If I still take it here, please hope you are noticing. If you are seeing what is happening to the time, please thumbs up. If you are seeing what is happening when I move the angle, good. So you move it to the angle that obviously if something is facing this direction, if something is facing here, that means that can only mean that you are casting shadow from this side. So the shadow has to be here, right? Because of the tilting. So you are designing with the eye that where is light coming from? Where is my shadow casting? Do you understand? So that's what helps you create shadows. Shadowing is another aspect of design that is very technical that you have to learn, and we'll get into that with time if time permits us. Not today, in our subsequent classes, if time permits us. So that's that. And I'll just copy this other one as well. The time, a bit the date. You notice it went behind because my layer was behind. So I can just take it up, please. It's not a do or die affair. You can always adjust things around. I want to make this. Let me make this. So this layer now is white, but I want to make it red. What do? You come to your blending options. You see something they call color overlay. Once you click on it, you now select the color you want. In this case, let's use red. It's too visible. Yeah, let's use red. Well, what we'll do now, I'll change this from yellow. I'll change it to everything should be white so that it's not too busy with so many colors here and there. So far, you might think we are done, but nope, we are not done. In fact, the design is actually finished depending on your test. You can end here. You can add other informations. So there is a drink responsibly mark here. I'm just going to copy it. I grouped it already. So I'm just going to copy it to the design because I don't see myself redoing it. It's just to do a box, a shape. Let me show you how I did it without doing it again. When you come here, this is you come to your rectangular tool. If I take this up, you see it's a square now. So once you draw a shape like this, you have these options to tilt it. That's what I did here. Do you understand? Just curved it a bit. And then when I wrote this text, if I do transform now, or yeah, if I do transform now, why is it coming here instead of the text itself? So let's assume I type, let me just type this afresh, or copy this, copy, then type it afresh. So I'll show you how I tilted, how I made that stuff. So it's like this. To make it at an angle, transform it, Command T, or you come to edit, transform, whatever. Now you come to this angle. This is showing you the angle. I know the angles in my head. If you did mathematics, you know that to turn something like this, it's at the negative. So I'm just going to type minus 90. Once I type that, I have it at this angle. Do you understand? That's the same approach I used to do the 18 to face like that. If you want it to go this side too, it's just 90, no need to minus. If you want it to face at an angle, either 45, you do that. If you want it to face at minus 45. So, get, are we good? What else do we need to add to this design? Did I off the bottle? Okay, yeah, no, that's missing. Good. Sorry, guys. So, if you notice the previous design, we had some text behind here. So I'm just going to copy that and put, there's something here. This write up. Okay, that's why it's not selecting. My auto select is off. So there's a write up here. Where is that? I'm just going to copy and take it here. This write up does not really do anything, but just for aesthetics, I like, and it does not say anything. And it's not necessary to have things like this, just, but for me, I just wanted to add it. You get, it's not even sitting properly with this particular design, but okay. Let it just be there to fill up space and build curiosity. What could be written there, even if you know you can't read it? That's what you think as a designer. You do the obvious and the non-obvious things that you just want to be there, but you know that it's not going to be noticeable. And after that, we want to add another effect to bring this design down to life. So that's why I have this. And you might be wondering why. Oh no, let me take it to the top. You might be wondering why I decided to add this, because from the look of things, if you look at it, it has red and this background does not have red. So what I'm going to do, we are going to do what we did to the background, that Gaussian blur. We are going to apply it here. But now we are not going to apply Gaussian blur. We are going to filter, blur. We're going to apply motion blur. Now you see what motion does, yeah? And okay. And now we'll add a layer mask to this. We'll add a layer mask to this. Here is a layer mask. And use the brush tool by coming to brush, or you press your B. Scale it to what you want. Remove the parts you don't need. Remove the parts you don't need. I'm going to add this effect somewhere here. And I'm also going to add this effect by duplicating it, Ctrl J or Command J. And then flipping it over. And what this will do for me is simply to hide what was showing here in this woman's hair, because I didn't want it. So now we are going to take this below, just somewhere close to the subject itself. Let me keep it here and see. The subject, where is the subject? Still far off. So we're going to take it close to the subject, somewhere here, so that this one's now on top. This one is also on top, but the background we did for it is down. So we're going to add a background below it, pens over it, so that this green is not obvious here. Okay, good. And we are going to make this subtle, not 100. So we reduce the opacity to somewhere around this. Yep. But now, since we want this not to be straight like this, so we are going to the subject again, go to the layer mask, use our brush tool, and just fade away the hair here, so nobody really knows what's really going on there. Do we understand? So far we've been able to achieve this, but I feel like the background is it just me or the background is like fighting the design itself, or it's okay? Hmm. What do you guys think? I'm noticing something here. This background that I added here is covering this. So we are going to take this on top. We're going to move this forward, and that's okay. In our previous design, we had something like white here. So we can easily add that by using the pen tool again. Pen tool come here on top of everything and add a layer. Just something is what we did that time, a layer, and mark this. So we are going to draw this and a game of the eyes to know if it's straight, and we'll fill this with white. And I think this is what was in the other design. So here I feel like this part, the background is not too deep, so we'll add instead of using this layer marks again to do this, I'm just going to add a layer and use my brush to just add, let me reduce the flow to just add a bit of, yeah, so that this thing now sits comfortably. And now the last thing we are going to do on this design, mind you, I'm just designing like this because I understand my layers. Usually, whenever you do anything, I'm supposed to name the layer. Just the way I group this side, I can call this background now. I can call this background. And this effect applies to this picture now. So you can group this as well and call it subjects. So these are the effects on top. We can group this and call this effects. And so on and so forth till you're able to organize your workspace on the side. So I'm going to add another layer here. I'm going to add another layer here on top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a color from this design. To highlight a color, eyedropper tool, you go to pick your brush tool, obviously, B, and to pick a color, you have to press Alt on Windows and Option in Mac. Once you do that, you've picked a color, you sample the color. If you look at this, here you have that color that is sampled. So I'm just going to do something like this. I would increase my flow to 100. I want it to be really shouting. So now, let me pick the color from here. We'll do this or this. Let's do this here. Let's do it here. Now what we are going to do is come to our blending mode and do screen. If screen does not work because it's not giving me what I want, it's still go around. And so I'm going to do divide. Have you noticed what this has done in the design? Here is before, here is after, here is before, here. So just by doing that effect, it just gave it a different feel entirely. So I'm going to do this, but I'll reduce the opacity to 80 or 70. Then duplicate this to, let's do somewhere here. Keep it here. You can play around with that as much as you want. Let me do that to 40. And voila, we are done. Is there any question so far? Okay. Hmm. Hmm? I think it's even better than the one I created earlier. So because we are doing it together. So is there any question so far? Are we good? Who was talking earlier? Hello, hello, hello. I'm talking to people now. Is there any part of the design that you don't understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm
Sir,
all
sorry.
ears. I'm listening. Jason, are you with us?
Sorry
Please, at this point, you guys should turn on your cameras, I beg. I want to
for
see you guys.
understand how you got that.
I can barely hear you. Is it your network?
Oh, crazy.
Is there anything you don't understand so far? Let's hear, let's hear, let's hear. Can you guys hear me? Mrs. Boko, the designer. When did you join us?
Since the class started.
Are you whining me? You've been here since we started.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, where I for what I don't know about live tourism, but for me, I'm going to tell them not to post this particular class as video. Maybe we'll post it at the end of the entire tutorial, but not immediately because it's like it's a habit for us not to show up in class because there's a video to watch. I for one, I am very busy. I'm a very busy man. And if I'm not busy, I would like to play games. So let's always make time for the classes. You understand? If you are paying for this class, you will not come late. You will not want your money to waste. So Boko, you understand everything so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you an assignment that is equal to that, and you're going to do and send to me. So if you don't understand, I will want to say within the week, not the one I will come and ask, have you done it? Now we've started actual designs. We have left those shape and all those things that you guys thought was designs. Is it okay? Faith, are you with me? Faith, are you
I
with
came
me?
late. No, 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 no. I'm not with you.
You came late.
I actually,
Beautiful, amazing. That means you'll be the designer. You design everything for us.
ah,
Uh-huh. You, your own. I want to see your assignment first.
but I
Mm.
didn't start from the beginning, so I don't know what was done.
Oh, amazing. Thank you to Live Tourism for you not starting on time. Our apologies, ma. Let's try to
No,
join the
no, no.
meetings on time, please. Clear your schedules for Saturday. The only reason why we did not have a class on Saturday last week was because I was setting up my laptop and it was unplanned circumstances, really. So let's try, please. There's so much to learn here, but I need to know that you guys are serious. If you thought that the design stopped at what we're doing there, no. So, my boss, you were talking. Yes, Jesam was saying. So let me so that I explain to him. We have 9 minutes to end this class. We have 9 minutes. So just let me know where you don't have clarity so that I'll go over it and we are done. Elijah, you understand the way you are smiling is like everything is we are good, right?
No, not exactly. But just that I want everybody to ask their question. My own question is not really pertaining to this class. It's more like the
Uh,
end product of the design.
okay. So ask your question. This ones they are shy first. When the shyness have left, they'll ask.
Okay. Now, I noticed that how do I even put it? Now let's say you're designing a you're designing 4 by 4 inches. That's the size of your Canva. That's what you're using on Photoshop 4 by 4. And then on CorelDRAW, you're using the same 4 by 4. You use every concept you use in Photoshop, the same concept you use in CorelDRAW. Now the problem I have is the file size. Photoshop file size are always way bigger. So is there a way we could manage that thing to make to manage space so we will not end up having huge Photoshop files than that of CorelDRAW? Because CorelDRAW is always smaller. So that's it.
Uh, CorelDRAW is a vector software, and obviously Photoshop files are always higher, and it's like that because I think it uses more resolution. But there is a way to fix that when you are setting up. I spoke about that when I started. So you use smaller resolution, just that it will affect your quality. You understand? It will affect your quality. So for me, I use up to, there are some designs. Let's say I'm working on a billboard. There are some designs I go all the way to like 600. My resolution, I take it all the way to 600. But again, that depends on the system you're using. If you put 600 in some system, you cannot move mouse. As you are pushing, it will not go. You just be there till you finish your design. So 72 is okay, 120 is okay, 200 is okay, 300, all the way to even 1200, depending on the strength of your system. You will know what you're using, so you know what to put in. But about the file size, a lot is with you. You find a way around it. The Photoshop file size are always bigger. That's because honestly, it has for me, it has quality, and they do like that because it's a pixel software. CorelDRAW is vector. So even if you zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, you still be seeing everything. It's still solid, clear. Photoshop is not like that. If you zoom in, you start seeing the pixels. You start seeing all those box, 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 box. If you don't use enough resolution.
Okay.
Do you understand? So you just invest in hard drives to have your files. You get. Good.
Okay.
So any other thing, Tate, Boko. Boko, since you said you send me your designs, this class we need to take first. We need to take first in this whole tutorial. You guys make me proud. Eh? I failed to join class when class has almost finished. And today the class I really enjoyed it.
No,
I
now
can't
it's
even
only
lie
today. Oh, it's
because
only today that I came late, please. No, it's only today, and it's because of my work. I'm running shift, so I'm really sorry. But it's only today. You can't say that.
okay. But it's today that the class is interesting. We've been playing all this while now. Oh,
I
you
know. It's
you
not my
thought that
fault.
we've been designing. We've not been designing. No. Have you seen my designs? Okay, the ones I managed to post because my main designs I don't even post them. So if you see designs I do, you know that whatever we've been doing, we've been joking.
Mm.
So now the classes are starting. Now you are coming late. Not nice now.
I'm sorry,
Hmm?
it's my work. I had shift.
It's not me. Me, I know it already.
I'm really sorry. I apologize. It's because I had to. It's my work.
So
It's.
I want you guys after this class. Me, I want to pick people that can work with me directly. So if you guys don't do what I will see, I can't pick somebody or people that work with me. You want to work on some kind of project I work on. So um we have to I have to see what you work on, what you do. So please, even if you don't understand this class, go to your drawing board, design something. If it's not fine, we'll correct it in the next class. Do you understand? That's what I prefer. So in the next um on Saturday, we are going to, I don't know, the time is a bit tight. So we might work on, let's say, a campaign, a marketing campaign. But I don't know which industry we'll use. If it's fintech or campaigns that are mostly in this country are like clubs, party, or church. So we'll find something and work on. So far, Boko, did you follow the class?
Sir, yes, I was following most of it, but I also have one question now. The assignment, is it what we just designed in class that we're going to remake, or is there something else?
No, that one you know it already. It's easy now. If you follow the step, you get it. Did I show you what I
Oh,
want you guys to work on?
so yeah. So what is the
Okay,
assignment?
I think first off, let me ask you, what kind of projects do you work on? Do you have like projects you don't do? Because this is
No,
obviously
I do
a, this
everything.
this is a club poster. Do you do club design?
I've never done one before, Sha, but I can try.
What? You have to be versatile. So what kind of designs do you basically do? We
Mostly
have 2 minutes.
church-based posters. Yeah.
Church. Okay. So you're going
Yeah.
to do club, imaginary club. Oh, you can say club for Jesus. If I
Yes.
if I if I images that tell the story of that. But I want it to have that vibe, that energy, not some basic things you get. So
Yes, sir.
that's the assignment. I'll send the final product of this to the group. I'll send the resources I used to design it to the group as well. So you two things, you either create it again. When you create it, you have a ground to now create your own. So just for the good of this class, this is the last time I'm going to do it. I don't want to be sending videos so that people will be serious. I don't want to send because people will be somewhere at the end of the class, they'll sit down and watch, and they will still not do assignments. Like all this, my talk is 2 hours in vain. Go through the class. If you missed it, I'm going to send it, the link, go through it, design the material, design it. I went through it step by step. So, Jessam as well, go through the class, what we've done. If you check it step by step, if you are familiar, you can forward, obviously. Go to the part you don't understand and create what we just created. Create it first. So what I want to do, I want to see 2 copies, what you create today and a version of you. Find a team for a club, either party for Jesus, if you are Jesus, or club for Jesus, whatever. Put date, put time, put venue, design the background, and then submit before our next meeting. So I should have submissions by Friday. So me, I've started after this you're supposed to do internship. So we've started scouting. The more you impress us, the more we'll know that okay, you're going to work with these people for your internship, you're going to do this and all that. Are we on the same page? So
Sir, please,
thank you so
I'm
much.
having. Ah, Jesus.
You're having issues with what?
With the photo P websites on the phone.
What issues are you having?
Why is Elijah laughing? So
Are you asking a question? Or you're looking at Elijah.
so I don't know. It's very difficult to navigate through it. Honestly, I don't know if it's because I'm using my phone or something. But I mean, each time I try to do something and I enter a like a I'm trying to use a tool. It will just kind of like
Stressful,
cover
right?
yes, it will cover the whole screen, cover the whole space, and it will be difficult for me to like exit what I'm doing and like do something else. I don't know. It's really
There's this software that people use to design. I've not used it before on phone because I've never been a mobile phone designer. But there are a lot of people that actually design with phones. Pixel Lab. I don't know if I can explore it and see what it looks like, and probably teach it or Canva so that people that don't have um laptops yet will use it. So probably, what do we do? These are classes. After now, it's still Saturday. Oh. So are we all in motion that we should teach Canva next Saturday? If you agree, see how you guys are agreeing. If you know how much I discriminate Canva. But anyways, just for the love of the people at Live Tourism, we'll do Canva. I'm one of the people that yap Canva. So we'll teach Canva on Saturday. And probably we'll do, can I do this kind of design on Canva? So you guys are putting me
you can do
in
it.
hot
You
soup,
can.
in hot soup to go and learn Canva first before I think. Amazing, amazing. Oh God. But yeah, we can do it. I know I can do all things through Christ. So guys, I had a great time designing what I love um, with you guys. So I'll see you guys on Saturday. Please, the ones that have access to laptops, do the needful, design it and submit on Friday. If you don't want to send it to the group directly because you don't want, you're shy, send it to me directly. I'll go through it and review it. Is that okay? But I think the essence of this group is for community bonding. So that tomorrow you say, oh, I met Elijah at the TechSkillUp at Live Tourism. I met Bernard. I met Boko. That's the essence. Is not to do things outside it because you need to build community now. If you're going into the creative space, you need community. And that's the essence of this. So if you still don't feel comfortable to send what you worked on, you send it to me directly. Okay. And I'll see you guys in our next class. Thank you for your time and God bless you.